motion detected in the front yard.
Rolling down the tracks, feel the rumble below. It's the Oreo Express where the truth's gonna grow. Josh Wolfer's on the mic, carving through the haze, breaking down the walls in these cloudy days. Oreo Express, yeah, we're breaking the chains. Voices of the people, no stopping this train. Freedom's in our sights with the stories we wrote. Step on board, now hear the engines core. From the heart of the streets to the mountain winds, we're here to uncover where the real truth begins. Silence in the static, wiping out the lies. Through the smoke and the chaos, we'll rise in surprise. Oreo Express, yeah, we're breaking the chains. Voices of the people, no stopping this train. Freedom's in our sights with the stories we wrote. Step on board, now hear the
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to the Oreo Express. Josh, oh, you know what? Is RW in here? We got to go to premium right now. Welcome back. It is still Cinco de Porto, and thank you for tuning in. We are coming to you live from Central California at the Oreo Express studio. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please, if you're in here, hit that like button. It would really help us out. Share it out, guys. And again, thank you for being in here. We got a lot of comments from Trump to go over today. He did a press conference, signed a couple, or at least one executive order on gain of function, and then we have the fake news doing what they do best. We're going to cover it all with you guys, and once again, thank you for jumping in. We got Hunter in the house. Rob Wallace is in here. See who else. Susan K. Spencer. Let's see. B. Mikey, Texas Bigfoot. Oh, the true Texas Patriots in the house. Let's see who else. Sugar Bear. Nola's in the house. Pixie says round 2. K Texas, another Texas Patriot. Man, we got 2 Texas Patriots in the house. Let's see who else we got here. Rob Wallace says, love the theme song. Yeah, we got a couple of them. I'm trying to play them, see which one I like. Melissa's here. Kimber's here. Devi. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Got a lot to cover on this show. A lot of different stuff. Some stuff we didn't make it in the first show today, and so we're going to be going through all that. But once again, with your help, you can hit that like button. You can share this out, get it to more folks, and we would appreciate that. Information's great, but if it stays only with us, we're in trouble, guys. Let's see what else we got to start here. So I seen this one over the weekend. I laughed. It's all you can do. Trader Mike Pence received the JFK Courage Award for the actions he took on January 6th. You can't make this up. I mean, these people, these tyrants just want to pat themselves on the back. But I want you to take a listen to this. This is what a great way to start the show. Take a listen.
I will always believe, by God's grace, I will always believe, by God's grace.
Let me refresh it so it actually goes through there.
Will always believe, by God's grace, I did my duty that day to support the peaceful transfer of power under the Constitution of the United States of America.
So okay, I'm just going to get into it a little bit. Again, they want to keep talking about January 6th. They want to keep promoting the traitors of January 6th. We seen that last week in a couple of videos we showed you. At some point, and I don't give Mike Pence a lot of credit for being intelligent. The things he did, even when he was office, looking back, the videos we saved of him, even when we covered some of the stuff he said, it was almost like Trump had to get a cattle prod and get out there, do this. Nothing like JD Vance. JD Vance to me has been amazing so far. A lot of folks on the Trump team for this year are much better than it was before. But I can't wait until the investigations are done and it shows what a traitor he is. The election was stolen in 2020. Where'd all these millions of extra votes come from? You know, they did all the mail-in ballot. They used COVID. You guys know exactly what happened during that election. And he knows as well. He knows. But he was, again, an establishment government employee. That's all he was establishment. We need to get rid of the establishment, folks. And so him accepting an award, good for you, buddy. Good for you. Now, I want you to listen to this really quick. We go to a lot of school board meetings. We cover a lot of stuff. Again, I think our main concern, there's a lot of concerns, but I think all of us can take a little time out of our life to worry about the education system, what our kids and grandkids, the schools they're going to, what's in their information, what's in their packets they're receiving, the agenda that's put behind your child's education. And I want you to listen to this. Listen to what she is told, that if she distributes this, what it is. Listen. And I want you to understand, it's okay to give this to children. Take a look at this.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. Before I begin my testimony, I'd like to draw your attention first to a 5-page packet of child sexual depictions via both drawings and very lewd descriptive writings. Could we please just show this to the committee members, please?
Is that actual?
Pass it along.
Wait. Is that actual images? Is that like?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't distribute
That's
those.
contraband.
Yeah.
Um,
It'd be a crime, believe it or not.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Are you listening? Listen to this. It's a crime for her to show the board members, but it's not a crime to show your students and your children inside the classroom, in the libraries, as work assignments. You guys following along yet? Take a listen.
Well, I thought that there was okay because I remember the police in here showing pictures when they were trying to pass some legislation before. And they showed some graphic pictures to people on the committee. So I thought that that was okay to bring into
I
committee.
don't know what it is, but out of an abundance of caution, I don't want to put you in a
Okay.
position to have somebody criticize
Okay.
you for that.
That's fine. This is, anyway, it was one sample of many currently being marketed to a target audience of children. So obviously, if I shouldn't be showing it here, it probably shouldn't be marketed to children. And it's being made available to them. So make no mistake, I recognize immediately when I see attempts to groom children for pedophilia. By grooming in this case, I mean sexualizing and normalizing sexual acts between children and others. The acts depicted often come in the form of graphic cartoons, sketches, or writings promoting dangerous promiscuity, depicting sexual fetishes, often promoting incestuous acts, bondage, the subjugation of women, and the glorification of women being raped, to name a few. If this is not the definition of obscenity, then I don't know what is. If this content was shared with you by a colleague, would you not rightfully be offended and consider it to be sexual harassment? And why then are we allowing our children to be exposed to this very same offensive material? The graphic photos that I was going to present to you should be appropriately labeled free porn for children. Rest assured that these insidious attempts to condition impressionable children to accept non-age appropriate sexualized material and behavior as normal is a surefire way to confuse minors so that they are no longer able to distinguish the difference between acceptable behaviors or abusive behaviors, as the instinctual red flag trigger warnings that children are naturally born.
I just want to point out the faces of the women in the back. One of them has that, it looks like a trans pin. They're upset with this lady because, again, those people are fighting for pornography. They want to deceive a child's mind. They want to corrupt a child's mind, and they are disgusting.
With will become fractured. They will no longer alert the unsuspecting child, turning our vulnerable children instead into easy prey for pedophiles. Do we not have enough deviant behaviors to contend with in society without promoting these harmful, degenerate behaviors into the minds of young, vulnerable children? And at what point do we find that these fetishes of depraved minds should take priority over the very best interests of children? Because that's...
Isn't that amazing? You can't, that's contraband. You can't give that up here to the board, but you can pass that out to students at school. No problem. I don't need to say this any more than I already do, but one party supports our children seeing that contraband, and one party says, hey, this is not age appropriate. This is not helping our child. This is not helping their reading grades. This is not helping their math grades. This is not educating them. And then you have those people with trans flags, the groomers of the world, that says, you know what? Let's make sure this is in the classroom. So when I seen that, and that was Rhode Island. That was Rhode Island. Again, you can't show it to grown elected officials, adults. But it's totally okay, A-okay, if you do this to children in the schools. Disgusting. I just wanted to show you this really quick. Somebody is a little panicked. You could tell by her demeanor. You can tell by everything. And I hope justice is coming. We've covered this. We've covered this extensively. Hold on. I'm going to have to refresh it. We've covered this extensively. We've talked about it. We've talked about the crimes, the person that uncovered the crimes on Letitia James. Now
sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen?
Oh, wow.
You
Why
can
is
come
this not
after me
working?
if you want, but you elected me to stand up. You elected me to use the law. You elected me to go to court. You elected me to continue to challenge this administration. You elected me to stand up for the least of God's children. You elected me to continue fighting on, and I will fight on.
Look at that. She even got the churchless reverend behind her.
And you want me to sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen?
No, we want you to be in a courtroom. We want you going away in handcuffs, sweetie, and it's going to happen. I have a feeling. With the evidence and what you did to Trump, your crimes are worse. And remember, nobody is above the law. So it's going to be taken down. It's going to be great. I don't know how long it'll take. I'll be a little bit patient, but it's just crazy. Check this out. Top officer for Los Angeles Fire Department union suspended after audit finds $800,000 in unaccounted spending. Imagine that. The union, top officers for the Los Angeles. I couldn't imagine the union doing this. Let me pull up this article for you. This is from the Los Angeles Times. It says the president and two other top officers of the Los Angeles Fire Department's labor union were suspended from their post Monday after an investigation by the union's parent organization found $800,000 in credit card purchases that were not properly accounted for. The International Association of Firefighters, which oversees the United Firefighters of Los Angeles City and other local firefighter unions across the country, suspended President Freddie Escobar and two others over diverse financial improprieties, including serious problems with missing receipts, according to a letter by the IAFF General President Edward Kelly to UFLAC members. The IAF appointed a conservator to take over the labor union to restore responsible financial stewardship and guarantee the fulfillment of UFLAC's legitimate objectives. The leadership of UFLAC has abdicated its fiduciary responsibilities and placed Local 112 in ill repute. The financial malpractice by the leadership of the UFLAC has dealt serious harm to the membership. The audit found that from July 2018 through November 2024, Escobar initiated 1,957 transactions on his UFLAC credit card, totaling $311,497.58, the letter said. More than 70% of those transactions, amounting to almost $250,000, have no supporting documentation. Now, there'll be an excuse. There'll be a reason. But how many times have we told you guys, follow the money, follow the corrupt unions, and this is what you're going to get. And it's good to see, especially when I'm going to play this, a former MC Sheriff Office deputy arrested for stealing $5,000 from an Ocala Blunt bank. It says Christina Gates Thagard, 40, was arrested for robbery with a firearm. Officers saw her place a note on the counter in the video that read, "This is a robbery. I have a gun and will shoot if anyone alarms or there is die packs enclosed. Fill this bag with at least $50K, big bills only. Wait 2 minutes to call the police." It says they found stolen money, clothing, a medical glove, and other items in her vehicle linking her to the crime. She is being held without bond at the Marion County Jail. So take a look at this.
What? Oh my God!
Line it up.
Ma'am, come here. Hands here.
What is going on? Sir, please, what's going on? Sir, what? Oh my God! What is going on?
Not a good move. You think maybe being a former sheriff officer, that you would maybe know there's consequences to your actions, and that's probably not the greatest thing to do. But again, it's more like the give a man fish, teach a man how to fish thing. She wanted the free fish. She didn't want to have to work for it. Check this out. We've been covering over the last couple weeks a lot of books coming out, surprisingly enough, from people who defended Biden's cognitive decline. There's people, different reporters that were saying, oh, he's fine, covered up, Trump's bad, Trump's in a mental decline. Well, listen to this one. A new book asserts that Biden officials declined to give him a cognitive test because it would draw new attention to his age. Take a listen to this. This is just great. What a big cover-up.
I have real problems with this. I remember Carl Bernstein and that soundbite where he talks about the president getting a type of rigor mortis, where he stiffed up at his sourcing was long-term close friends of President Biden. He said there were 15 such incidents going back a year and a half, so to January of 2023. So all these incidents are happening. Close friends are seeing it. A cognitive test should not be viewed in a political lens. It is a real national security threat to the country to have a president with these issues. What if a nuclear war, God forbid, had started? We know that there were national security disasters on his watch. If I'm a parent who lost someone in Afghanistan, I'm wondering what his thinking was like in the Situation Room. Did some of these episodes happen there? Did they happen with foreign adversaries? There are some things that are bigger than politics. And when it comes to issues like mental capacity, 25th Amendment issues, that is bigger than politics.
So Ron Klain was the chief of staff at the time, and he was frustrated, or maybe he wasn't anymore, but David Axelrod, who had worked for Obama, they both worked there in the Obama administration. They're frustrated with each other. And Klain shot a note to Axelrod. He said, Klain wanted to know why Mr. Axelrod was fueling doubts about a Democratic president who was on track to begin a re-election campaign. And he said, there's no Obama out there, Ax, Mr. Klain told him, the book recounts. Who's going to do it if he doesn't do it? Just sounds like they were flailing from the beginning, like they knew. And yet what really bothers me, not only the national security standpoint, but they kept taking people's money from them, saying, we need you for your campaign, send us money. And people were doing it. If you support Democrats, you were sending them money, and they knew all along.
They knew all along. And, you know, Ron Klain, you say there was no Obama out there, but how do we know that? What if someone like Gavin Newsom would have been given a runway to truly have a primary? He's a talented person. I don't think anyone could have beat Trump in that cycle. Trump was made for that moment, and I think his movement was right on point. But you gave someone 107 days to run a campaign when you put Kamala Harris there. David Axelrod was absolutely correct to raise the political stakes for the party and those donors. You're exactly right.
Okay, I'm sitting between two former press secretaries. And here's the third on the same topic here. Jen Psaki was asked about it. Watch.
Cover up is such a loaded phrase. Cover up is often like a crime, right? We're talking when people use that term.
They say it's worse than the crime.
People use that term as they relate to Watergate or the covering up of not sharing public information about a war.
Yeah, and I'm not accusing anybody of a crime.
I understand, but other people have used that term, and I think it's a bit of a dangerous term. A lot of the people who are mentioned are good human beings, and so I like to think that, no, they would not be a part of an active, let's hide from the public what we see happening privately.
Oh, man. You want to talk about a dishonest party? Everything we were calling was so correct way ahead of time. We even said it before during the 2020 election when they were hiding him in his basement, that he was not capable of answering questions and doing what the American people need. He didn't run the country one day. Like they say, well, I wonder what happens in the Situation Room. As you can see, there was a woke group of folks that had taken over our country. Some might refer to it as the deep state. There was deep state intentions in there, and it's just crazy. So I wanted to show you guys this. Thought this was interesting. Photographer Doug Mills wins the 2025 Pulitzer Prize for breaking news photography with this photo of President Trump at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, some people are saying there's a more iconic photo, but this one's pretty big. Take a look
President
at this.
Trump,
I'm going to pull this up
13.
on the screen. You could see the bullet zoom and pass.
So breaking right now, New York Times photographer Doug Mills awarded the Pulitzer Prize for the stunning images he took in Butler, Pennsylvania, the assassination attempt on President Trump, July 13, 2024. We remember this incredible image of the bullet whizzing by the president after grazing his ear. There were a lot of stunning images from that day, but that.
So, again, incredible photo, the type of camera, the way you had to have your settings to catch that at that particular moment was incredible, but this will still always be my all-time favorite right here. I think many of you would probably agree with me. And he's got blood on his face, his ears bleeding. There's still blueing on people to this day that says this was staged somehow, that Joe Biden's Secret Service, because that's who they worked for, staged this. So maybe it was staged. Maybe they knew what the cognitive decline was and they wanted to save the country, but we know otherwise. But epic. I remember this day very well. Me and Matt were coming back from probably Hukumba, going back towards LA, I think, from San Diego to LA. And we were on the road and we were driving down the crappy freeways of California. And someone in the chat, and I look at Matt and I was like, because no offense, but y'all say some crazy stuff in the chat. Half of it's hard to believe. And about only 10% of the time when it's something that big is it true, because people come into the chat just to try to stir things up or put fake news in there. And I was like, Matt, see if you can find something. And I'm driving and I'm looking, he's looking. We were literally live. And then I pull up a live feed of the event and it had just happened a few minutes before. And I was like, we pulled over to the side of the freeway. I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. This is real. And we got off, we went in and pulled into McDonald's to get more information. And I was just like, Couldn't believe it. I told Matt, hold on 1 second. I had to call home because it reminded me very similar. I had a gut feeling very similar to 9/11. When I heard what happened on 9/11 that morning, I was out of town for work. I was in Sacramento, and I called home at the time to my ex-wife and like, be prepared for anything. Be prepared for anything. And then I called Rach, and I was like, hey, just a heads up, turn on the news, put it on this. And scary moment. Again, when we watched that video, that little turn is all it took to save the man's life. And then it wasn't too long after that, we had another assassination attempt. Some say it was tied to Ukraine, which, looking at the evidence, definitely people knew about it. Whether it was our government or the Ukrainian government knew about it. Matt says if he would have died, the world would have been a lot different. If he would have died that day, I think that would have been the end of the United States as we know it. And when I say we know it, we were in bad times already under Joe Biden. But I think you would have seen chaos like we haven't seen in this country. Because I can tell you what, me and Matt ended up going to Seal Beach to go into the Trump store in Seal Beach that day. And it probably took us an hour and a half to get there. And, we were wearing our MAGA stuff. And just walking through Seal Beach, not the most conservative area, people were walking up, talking to us because we had the Trump stuff on. We went in the store. That was the talk of the town. And I just feel that there would have been some retribution, because Antifa and these leftists, these communists that hate America would have been celebrating in the streets. And I think those streets would have been bloodied that night. And it wouldn't be because it wouldn't be the patriots left on the ground. So blessings and thank God that he didn't. I wanted to read this. Dominique Alexander, who's representing Carmelo Anthony's family. He's the one that said he would be doing no more press and talking to the press after his last stunt. Carmelo Anthony is the black student in Texas that stabbed to death a white student. We've covered it. We're not going over it every day. We're not beating a dead horse. But I want you to listen to him because, again, he said he wasn't going to come out in the media. He wasn't going to say anything. He was going to wait for trial. But, again, this guy has a very long criminal rap sheet. Lots of things we covered. You can go back to the past live streams. You can go on X, put his name in there, and you'll get all the details on him. I want you to listen to what he says. Remember the day of that press conference. The father of the murder victim went to that press conference, didn't say nothing to nobody, just stood there, wanted to hear what was being said. I think any of us would have done that in those circumstances. His son was murdered at a high school track meet. Take a listen to this.
Back out. Let me say this. The Anthony family didn't even know that Austin's dad was even in the facility. They didn't know that Austin's dad was here until he was actually removed by DPD. One of our security people asked him to move back. He looked back at him like he was entitled or like he didn't have to move, whatever it may be. We didn't even know who he was at this time. We just asked him to step back. Then one of the members of the media told us that, hey, that's the dad. I said, the dad of who? I said, who? What? He was like, yeah, that's Austin's dad. I said, I know you lying. Like, what? He can't be here.
Why can't he be there? And why do you think a white man that wants to go to a press conference feels he's entitled? It's a press conference. Think about that for a second.
And so what we initiated is making sure that we secured the facility. Let me make this very clear. The Anthony family didn't even know he was here. But how do we know what he came here for? He didn't come and asked or come to us and said, he just stood there. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if we started the press conference.
So I guess note to self now, when I go places and I record, I need to ask permission.
And I'm not accusing him of anything. We didn't know if he was going to pull out a gun. We didn't know what we didn't know. But at the end of the day, what we just wait and just say, oh man, just let's start the press conference. We didn't pat anybody down coming in the facility. We didn't look at everybody. We didn't know, y'all. But these YouTubers and TikTok and all these people started to rush to judgment. I'm being insensitive. I'm being this. I have a press conference with a whole media press corps in a family that I have to ensure the safety of. NGAN had at least 12 people on our security team that day. We could have removed him if we wanted to. We could have literally done that. But no, what we did was we tried, because of the sensitivity of the case, allow DPD to handle it. If anybody that was there, no, we didn't lack security, right? But where he came in and approached, we could not allow him to stay there. Not only outside of the fact that this is a current pending criminal case, right? And the press conference was about the Anthony family and their use of funds. The funds that they have not even received yet at that time. So,
oh, they've received them now. And again, maybe the father was interested, like, hey, you know what? How did my son's murderer, how is he chauffeured around everywhere? How's he living in almost $1 million mansion now? I mean, is that what it takes to get a mansion these days, is murder a white kid? A lot of things are going to come out of this. I just thought it was interesting. We didn't know if he was going to pull out a gun. You don't know that when you're at an intersection. You don't know that when you're at a Starbucks. You don't know that. Quit playing the victim. Listen to this part.
Even knew it was a thing. We were asking him, it was not an attack on him, but we felt it was very disrespectful on how he came about it. And how we, even before you even knew it was a thing, we were asking him repeatedly to leave. And literally, he wouldn't even talk. He wouldn't even say anything. He felt like he could just stand there. That's not right. It was very upsetting to me. It's not right. Because if you're coming here I heard somebody say he was coming there for prayer. He was coming there to come and.
I just love how rattled this guy is, this criminal right here. Again, I think he is hurting the case. I think he can get the race baiting side, the Al Sharptons of the world and people like that. But as far as getting any sympathy from the average American, this guy is doing it completely wrong. It probably will backfire. We're going to see what kind of court he goes to, what kind of jurors are there, what kind of charges. And it's just insane. Hey guys, don't forget, we are 100% viewer funded. We are at the beginning of the month. If you want to help us out, we would appreciate it. You can do Rumble rants right from Rumble. You can, if you're not on Rumble and watching somewhere else, you can use Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. We also have a Give Send Go set up, our givesendgo.com /Oreo 2024. We've been using that whole one for over a year, almost a year and a half. So we would appreciate if you guys could donate so we can get some of these bills paid. And if you use Zelle, you use online banking, and they'll have a Zelle transfer option on there. You can go to our website at theoreoexpress.com, and on there, you can go to donate now. It'll have our links, including Zelle. Once again, we are at the first of the month. The struggle is here, guys. The struggle is real. We appreciate your donations, and we want to say thank you for helping us out. Again, you guys keep us on here.
The House of Representatives.
I want to play some video today from President Trump. It says he was presented with the 2024 electoral college vote record from the House in the Oval Office. And as we usually see with Trump, he finds a way to roast the media. Take a listen.
Yes, sir. So earlier today, the House of Representatives transmitted this over for you. This is a record of the Electoral College votes in the 2024 election. It shows your total of 312 votes. And the
I think it's frozen. Let me refresh it so it doesn't do that. Carl Benji, thank you so much for the Rumble rant. Appreciate you.
Sure. So earlier today, the House of Representatives transmitted this over for you. This is a record of the Electoral College votes in the 2024 election. It shows your total of 312 votes. And the letter opener at the bottom of this frame display is actually one of the letter openers that was used to open the electoral votes during the counting.
That's great. How many votes did the other side get?
Less than you, sir. Significantly.
By how much?
I don't want to get this wrong. It was 226.
Oh. But the news said it was going to be the other way around.
The news said it was going to be a lot
closer.
No,
they said that it was going to be a lot closer than that. It wasn't close. So 312 to 226, that's pretty good. Okay, that's good. Thank you. I thank them for me. That's very nice.
Yes, sir. We'll tell the speaker. Yes, sir. So earlier today, the House of...
The news got it all wrong. There's not much that the news don't get wrong anymore, guys. You guys know it. I know it. Check this out really quick before we move on to more Trump stuff. If you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, and entertainment, then check out Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media website. You'll get breaking news stories and commentary from top media figures. If you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social post, then get on Truth Social today. Join a growing community of patriots on a free speech platform designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech. Make your voice heard. Join the movement. Join Truth Social. Man, let's see what else we got today. So if you guys were paying attention over the weekend, we didn't cover this in our first show. People were generating AI images as Trump being the Pope. Memes, that's what they're called, memes. They're supposed to be funny, jokingly, and everything else. Let me fix this camera a little. And so today he smoked the fake press because the only people that were offended by this was the press. They're the only ones talking about it. The paid influencers on the left were the only ones crying about it. Everybody else was sharing them out laughing.
So, sir, was
Take
about
a listen.
The fact that it was.
They can't take a joke. You don't mean the Catholics. Media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?"
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of. No. I think it's the fake news media that, they're fakers.
My question, though, sir, was about the fact that it was put out on the White House account, even though it was AI generated, it was a joke, it was a meme. Does it at all diminish the substance of the official White House account to have it go out on that particular channel?
Give me a break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you?
I love it. He admits it wasn't the Catholics that were upset. It was the fake news media. And then that they just want something. And they're not going to get anything on him. They're not going to get anything on him. They're not going to ruffle his feathers. They've tried for years. This man is Teflon Don. And we've seen it time and time again. He also, more stuff over there. We didn't have this at the last one. But again, yesterday, Trump, and we covered this on the first show, Trump put out a Truth Social post about talking to the Bureau of Prisons and other groups to see about getting Alcatraz reopened, rebuild that for the criminals because of all the crime that is happening in the United States. It's been going on because of our relaxed judicial system, if you will. Democrats, majority states like California, where it's just a revolving door. And take a listen to what he says here.
Badly ripped up. And
How did you decide to reopen Alcatraz? Can you walk us through that decision?
did I say what?
To reopen Alcatraz, how will you use it? How did you come up with the idea?
Well, I guess I was supposed to be a movie maker. We started with the movie making, and we'll end. I mean, it represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order. Our country needs law and order. Alcatraz is, I would say, the ultimate, right? Alcatraz, Sing Sing and Alcatraz, the movies. But it's right now a museum, believe it or not. A lot of people go there. It housed the most violent criminals in the world, and nobody ever escaped. One person almost got there, but they, as you know the story, they found his clothing rather badly ripped up, and it was a lot of shark bites, a lot of problems. Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz, and just represented something strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country, and so we're going to look at it. Some of the people up here are going to be working very hard on that, and we had a little conversation. I think it's going to be very interesting. We'll see if we can bring it back in large form, add a lot. But I think it represents something. Right now, it's a big hulk that's sitting there rusting and rotting. You look at it, it's sort of, you saw that picture that was put out. It's sort of amazing. But it's so
that was his comments on that. Look at poor Mayor Bow Wow behind him. She's not doing too well behind him. And then he also made a comment on what we covered earlier as well, that DHS is going to be offering illegal aliens. They can go to the CBP Home app. They can sign up to self-deport. DHS will pay for their flight out of the country. And then when it's proven that they are out of the country and they're back to wherever it is they land, that we will pay them $1,000, which is a very substantial cost savings versus having to do all the stuff that we're doing now and having the government do it all. So take a listen to what he says right here.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Tell me about the program that's just been introduced to give undocumented immigrants living in the United States
About me?
$1,000 to self-deport. Can you just tell us a little bit?
Oh, the new program,
The new
yeah.
program.
We have millions of people that have come into this country illegally through an administration that didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have a clue. And now we find out officially they didn't, because the president was incompetent, but I could have told you that before. And they've allowed millions and millions of people to pour in. Murderers, drug dealers, the biggest drug dealers in the world, actually, terrorists come in, emptied prisons from many countries, not just South America, all over the world. They emptied their prisons into our beautiful USA. And to get that many people, 21 million people, we think the real number is, but let's say 3 million of them are serious criminals. 11,888 murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. It's hard to believe we have to even talk about this when we're talking about something so beautiful, but it's something we have to talk about having to do with the country, because it's very important. So they came in by the millions illegally into our country. They just flowed in through an open border policy that was insane. And what we've done is we've offered, you know the numbers, but because we're taking them out by the thousands, we're being obstructed. It's very unfair what's happening, because the court system it's very unfair. We have to get them out fast. These are bad people. These are people that are killing, and they've already killed many people in this country. Illegal immigrants that came in illegally through an open border policy, which is insane. We talk about common sense. That's not common sense. And they came in from the Congo, all over Africa, all over Asia, all over South America, parts of Europe. They flowed in and just walked right into our country. We had no idea who they were. 21 million at least. That's probably a low number. You know, you hear lower numbers than that. It's not. That's a low number. But many are really serious criminals and terrorists and people from jails. They emptied out jails. You know, Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they took all the criminals off the streets and the gangs, and they dumped them into our country. So we're getting them out. It's a very difficult thing with the courts because the courts have all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they said, maybe you have to have trials. We're going to have 5 million trials. Doesn't work. Well, you wouldn't have a country left. But hopefully the Supreme Court will save it. But what they've done is a very, very serious thing. You know, past presidents took out hundreds of thousands of people when needed. You look at Eisenhower, you look at many of them, and they took people out and they didn't go through any of this. But what we thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time. And if they make it, we're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people, if they're the kind of people that we want in our company, industrious people that could love our country. And if they're not, they won't. But it will give them a path to becoming, to coming back into the country. If they miss that limit, they're going to be taken out of our country, and they will never get a path to come back in, and it'll be a much tougher process. And it's called self-deportation. And by doing that, you're talking about so many millions of people. By doing that, we've taken out thousands of terrorists, drug lords. What we've done is amazing. And I'm sure Tom Homan and Kristi Noem have done an incredible job. They really have done an incredible job. But it's a hard job. So we're going to have a self-deportation where they deport themselves out of our country. And we'll work with them, and we're going to try. And if we think they're good, they have, the people we want in our country, they're going to come back into our country. We'll give them a little easier route. But if they don't work, and if we take them out after the date, then they're never coming back. And that's the least of the problems that they're going to have.
So that was his comments on that. I think it's a beautiful program when you understand how things work. Again, you start off by cutting out the incentives, which we have done by killing the NGOs. All these NGO operations have been cut down. You know it. The ones we used to visit, they've laid off their employees. They're not getting the bread and butter anymore of taxpayer dollars. So then you take away the housing, because again, taxpayers shouldn't be paying for housing for illegals. There still is some groups that are obviously hosting hotels. In New York, you still have migrant hotels and stuff, but for the most part, that's not done through taxpayer money. That's done through organizations that are funding outside. And then you step into, guess what? We're going to deport you. There's a possibility you could be going to El Salvadorian prison. We show videos of that, pictures of that, people getting their head shaved. Again, this is one big wake-up call for them. And then you say, well, hey, we'll make it easy on you. You can self-deport. And right now, we don't really have to worry about these people coming across illegally anymore. And the reason why is our whole southern border has now been identified as, like Army base. So you are actually breaking into an Army installation, and there's higher penalties. And those people that are coming in now, they're being held into ICE detention, and they are getting a court date within 35 days and shipped out of here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Stephen Miller said this. We got to love Stephen Miller. The choice facing illegals: leave now, get a free flight and an exit bonus. Refuse to leave and face $1,000 a fine daily. Prosecution, imprisonment, forfeiture of all assets, garnishment of all wages, confiscation of all property, deportation whenever and wherever we choose. I like it. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Check this out. Again, you won't see these things on mainstream media, but President Trump met with ballerina Ksenia Karelina, I think is how you say her name, following her release from a Russian prison. Take a listen.
So how long were you in jail?
4 or 15 months.
That's a long time. Congratulations. That's
Thank
very
you
nice.
so much.
That's a great honor.
It's my honor.
Now I know why you fought so hard to get her out of jail.
I just love that. I love Trump and beautiful women, man. Now I know why you fought so hard to get her out of here.
So how long were you in jail?
4 or 15 months.
That's a long time.
So that's another win for President Trump that won't be aired on mainstream media or anywhere else. Another win is the Trump administration, through all his appointments, has shut down the lab accused of killing all the beagles for decades. We talked about this, Fauci's research and everything else, where they were doing experiments on these beagles and killing them, letting maggots eat them to death and everything else. Well, the Trump administration has shut down that lab. Now, I'm sure Democrats are out there saying Trump doesn't want to fight cancer or something like that. They always come up with something, right? But the truth is, the animal rights activists you'd think would be giving Trump kudos for this, because they were all over this. They were fighting this day and night, and Trump actually does it. I don't think he'll get any accolades or anything deserving. Check this out. Trump also signed an executive order to end any present or future federal funding of gain-of-function research in countries of concern, including China and Iran. Take a listen to this.
To enforce the ban on federal funding for gain-of-function. The first relates to gain-of-function research. Gain-of-function research is a type of biomedical research. Pathogens are adulterated, viruses are adulterated to make them more potent or to change the way that they function. Many people believe that gain-of-function research was one of the key causes of the COVID pandemic that struck us in the last decade. What this executive order does, first of all, it provides powerful new tools to enforce the ban on federal funding for gain-of-function research abroad. It also strengthens other oversight mechanisms related to that issue and creates an overarching strategy to ensure that biomedical research in general is being conducted safely and in a way that ultimately protects human health more.
It's a big deal. It could have been that we wouldn't have had the problem we had.
A lot of people say that, sir.
If we had this done.
Research funding by the federal government and all. Mr. President, at gain-of-function, this is an historic day, the end of gain-of-function research funding by the federal government and also controls by private corporations on gain-of-function studies. This was the kind of study that was engaged in by the United States military and intelligence agencies beginning in 1947. By 1969, the CIA said that they had reached nuclear equivalency, that they could kill the entire U.S. population for 29 cents a person. That year, President Nixon went to Fort Detrick and announced a unilateral end to this kind of research, what they call dual-use research, research that was for vaccination and also for military purposes. He then persuaded over 180 countries to sign the Bioweapons Charter in 1973. That basically ended gain-of-function research around the globe until 2002. Or 2001, after the anthrax attacks, we passed the Patriot Act, and the Patriot Act had a provision, a little-known provision in it, that said that although the Bioweapons Charter is still in effect, and the Geneva Convention is still in effect, U.S. federal officials who violate it cannot be prosecuted. And that relaunched a bioweapons arms race, and that was driven by gain-of-function research. In 2014, 3 of those bugs escaped from U.S. labs, and President Obama declared a moratorium on future use, and instead a lot of that research was moved offshore to the Wuhan lab. And it launched bioweapons arms race all around the country, all around the world, so that China's engaged in it, developing all kinds of weapons using AI and CRISPR technologies that are really devastating. Russia is deeply engaged in it, Iran and many other countries. It's a kind of weapon that always has blowback. There's always bad news. And the justification for this kind of weaponry was, and these kind of research was always that we have to do this to develop vaccines to counter a future pandemic. In all of the history of gain-of-function research, we can't point to a single good thing that's come from it.
It can always get in the wrong hands. I got it. It was muted. But what did he say at the end there? We cannot point to a single good thing that's come out of it. And the only thing that's came out of it is people like Dr. Fauci with a God complex. That wants to decide who lives and who dies, really. And I hope there is going to be some justice for Fauci and others. There was others involved. And we'll have to see how this plays out. But we got the right administration, the right team, the right people that Trump's put in order to do this. Another thing that's been going around lately, and it's been going around since Trump's been elected, but I don't think people understand this because the mainstream media, which we call legacy media, that is an arm of the Democrat Party, would have you believe that there's some significant tax cut coming from billionaires. And if you guys don't remember, what Trump is trying to do is extend his tax cut from his first administration, which gave all of us tax cuts. Everybody, every working person, if you work hard, you got a tax cut. And I'll play GOP majority whip right here in a minute. But the left makes you think that there's some new huge thing. Now, the new stuff is no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. You know, the Social Security that he's going to cut. Now, actual seniors are going to have more money in their pockets, even though they're spending that gas money. Maybe they'll spend that extra money for Saturdays outside of a Tesla dealership because they believe the lies they're being told. But when it comes down to reality, take a listen to this. If it is not done, if it is not extended, it's going to cost you $1,600 approximately a year.
Our government already has enough revenue, Joe. The issue is we've got a spending problem. We've got to address it. I think the tax cuts that have been in place for the last 7 years is imperative. If we don't get it done, Joe, the average American is going to experience $1,600 in increase in their taxes, the average American. And 40 million American families are going to lose half of their child care tax credit, or their child tax credit. So it's imperative that this gets done so that we don't have a $4.5 to $5 trillion tax increase on all Americans.
Why won't mainstream media cover the truth ever? Tell those people that are all pro child tax credit. And again, I'm on the fence on that one. I just know too many people. I remember working with people that brag about, they're only working part-time because if they work full-time, they won't get this tax credit. And they pay pennies into taxes and they get 5 times that much back at the end of the year. To me, that is socialism, and I'm not a fan of it. But overall, the tax cut, I am for. You guys know that, to extend the Trump tax deal. I'm for no taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security, and no taxes on overtime. Got a lot of friends and family members that work a lot of overtime, and it would be nice for them to be able to collect that. Instead, here's what we're hearing about. Listen to this. This is just great. I don't know about you guys, but if you guys happen to see my post on X, Farmers Market is back in Old Town Clovis. You guys know if I'm in town, I love taking Caden down there. We just walk around, let them dance, play with the other kids out there, and we usually buy some fresh fruit, our vegetables, usually strawberries. Take a listen to this.
That the dramatic uptick. appointments if they think it's going to be a trap? Won't it create more law breaking, more people living in the shadows?
Absolutely. And I'll give you a good example and one that we haven't really talked about a lot. I'm from Southern California originally, which is the strawberry growing capital of America in Oxnard, California. When I was home last, there were stories about how all of this fruit was dying on the vine. And the reason it was dying was because the farm workers who were picking them were afraid to come out of the shadows. There's no question that the dramatic uptick in law enforcement with respect to immigration is impacting the willingness of people to participate in the economy and to otherwise cooperate with immigration proceedings. You see that also in the case involving this judge in Milwaukee. The gentleman who she is allegedly accused of trying to help escape from the courthouse, he was there for a court hearing with respect to domestic violence charges. If people believe that they will be arrested, for example, in courthouses when they show up to make routine appearances, either in immigration or in criminal proceedings, you're not going to have people show up for things like naturalization interviews or criminal appearances. Either one, you're going to see people not come.
Lee,
Oh man, cry me a river. So there's solutions to this if this was the case. We travel a lot. I can tell you there has been no shortage of people working the fields, and we also have a guest worker program that if we need farm workers, they can come over from Mexico and return to home. So this is again, they're not focusing on the murderers, the gangbangers, the drug dealers, the child rapists, the child traffickers, any of those folks. They're talking about your strawberries. And I'll tell you what, we got 3 buckets of strawberries for our 3 baskets of strawberries. I think it was for $12. They were really good. And then we're going to get some other ones at a local farm, I think this weekend. So again, because of Caden, we have to have a lot of fruit in the house. This kid, he'll go through a basket of strawberries in a day. When we make him breakfast, eggs, he'll have blueberries and strawberries, and he'll eat it all. He loves his fruit. But listen to how they're trying to spin all this, guys. There's also a lot of people collecting welfare and EBT that don't do a damn thing to work. How about this? You earn your keep. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, what else do we have on the front today? So pro-Palestinian protesters, which are radical jihadist supporters, radical terrorist supporters, and counter-protest are outside of the Met Gala 2025 in Manhattan. This video was from freedomnews.tv. Take a listen to this.
New York now! Zionism out of America now! Zionism out of New York now!
We got another video coming up that where things got a little heated. It looks like even a reporter or a journalist out there was assaulted by the jihadists. Take a look here. He wasn't having it. He wasn't too happy about it. Good for him. But take a look at this video again. I'm going old school, guys. We need to make Coliseums great again. And just have the battle in the Coliseum. You guys pick 50. You guys pick 50. 2 gates. Open the gates and let them go. I don't think that's really a bad thing. Do you guys?
Hey, media, back the fuck up! Back up! Hey, man, back up! What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Step on whatever this big drop. Fucking Nazi. Fuck you, Nazi. Back the way! You dirty motherfucker! Fuck you, terrorist pig! You're a Nazi! You are a faggot, that's right! Fucking Nazis! You are Nazis! You are Nazi colonizers! England, you are literally Nazi colonizers! Come get me the fuck out of here! Come get me the fuck out!
Can you guys do your fucking job? Back up. Back up. Dude, back up. You're gonna let someone fucking attack me? It's him.
Man, it's crazy. Again, this is what immigration gets you. You pull in, that old saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I guess you probably weren't expecting to hear that today on the podcast. Or you can pull a person out the ghetto. You can't pull the ghetto out the person. That's what we're seeing here, folks, with these jihadists, these radical jihadists that are out there. And we're going to continue to see this. There is some work being done. Trump is working on trying to get these radical jihadists that come over and they lie on their visa applications and they come here to be activists when that's not what they put on their visa. So we'll take care of that. Susan K. Spencer says, ice, ice, baby, right? Right? Now listen to this. It says Democrats plot more trips to El Salvador, even Honduras, to check on illegal aliens who were deported. Congressman Glenn Ivey, I'm planning on going. We should continue to go. Now this comes just a couple days, end of last week, we're at Monday. So Wednesday or Thursday, it was reported that Hakeem Jeffries said, hey, slow your roll. Slow your roll. Let's not... It's not working out too well in the polls that we're having margaritas with MS-13 gang members. Take a listen to this.
That he told Democrats to stop going to Central America. Others are planning trips, including a visit to Honduras.
I'm planning on going, and I think we should continue to go. So I think it makes sense for us to check on them, make sure they're okay. And at a minimum, since there's a multi-million-dollar contract with El Salvador to house these people, shouldn't somebody go take a look and make sure we're getting our money's worth for this?
I think we have. We had 5 or 6 representatives go check on an MS-13 gangbanger. They were there to bring him back into the United States. But it's not like that through the whole party. Rep Pramila Jayapal, one of the Jihad Squad members, totally deflects the question when asked about Kilmore Arbrego. Listen to this. Listen to how she dodges this question.
Well, I think that those and a whole number of other issues right now are confused about their party's messaging. To go back to immigration, to hear that some members of the party are going to El Salvador trying to raise support while others are saying, this is not our issue, Trump wins on this, we'll be quiet on it. What's your message to people who are worried the Democrats still do not have their stuff together for this fight?
Well, I think that the core message is that Democrats are going to fight for working class and poor people across this country. And we're going to fight to give you the things you need to have a decent life, right? Affordable housing, a roof over your head, food on the table, education for your kids, retirement with dignity, healthcare, childcare. Those are the critical things that people need to thrive. I think at the same time, you can have a very populist working class agenda that takes on the billionaires and the biggest corporations that are screwing a lot of Americans across this country right now. They're getting richer. Everybody else is getting poorer. But
you notice she didn't answer the question. This was about going to El Salvador, not polling well, not looking good on the Democrats. American people aren't buying their BS. And she goes to free healthcare, free childcare, and everything else. We'll finish this off because this is this is more telling than you think.
You can still have an inclusive tent that doesn't throw immigrants under the bus, that doesn't throw trans communities under the bus. Those are not two competing things. And I think most Democrats, and you're seeing this, most Democrats recognize that we have to stand up for our values. At the end of the day, we can't stick a finger up in the air and figure out where we think the polling is going to be and try to be a Republican light party. We actually have to be a Democratic party. We have to stand up for Democratic values, and we have to stand for things, not just against things. I say we got to be a proposition party, not just an opposition party.
Right now, they are an opposition party. And when you think about it, what do Democrats stand for? High taxes, open borders, men and women's sports, They're part of the alphabet cult trans ideology for children. I mean, so far what we've seen in this term is it's just been anti-Trump. Everything that the electorate elected Trump to do, he is working on doing, and they're trying to block it. They are the opposition party. And it's looking worse and worse for them as it comes out. Check this out, guys. Let's see here. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units, folks. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus with no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a golden spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for only $99. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit today before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe in, guys. So check it out. Head over to 1775coffee.com/studio, guys. Check it out. Check out the deals they have. And again, we appreciate Rumble. We appreciate anybody that sponsors. This is a Rumble coffee. Without them, we would be nowhere right now. Without Rumble, we wouldn't be online. When all other big tech companies canceled us because we were out telling the truth, you know what? We always had Rumble to get back to. So again, thank you guys for checking that out. If nothing more, go check it out and see if there's anything you like over there. How about this one? I love this interview. So CNN goes and interviews a terrorist, a cartel member, and they wanted to normalize the cartel, almost make them look like the victim. And listen to what the cartel member says. I have to pull off the bottom, but I'll read it to you because it's, there we go. Good old CNN.
According to the Trump administration, you are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization.
Let me refresh.
What do you make of that?
This one's a good one, guys. This one's a good one. Okay, here we go.
You are a terrorist. I mean, the cartels have been labeled a foreign terrorist organization. What do you make of that?
Está fea la situación, ¿verdad? Está fea la situación, pero pues de todos modos tenemos que comer.
What's your message to Donald?
Said the situation's ugly, but we have to eat. That's what this cartel member said. And listen to this.
Pero pues de todos modos tenemos que comer.
What's your message to Donald Trump if he's watching this?
Mi respeto, él tiene que.
What's your message to Donald Trump? Read that on the bottom. My respect.
Que según él busca lo mejor para.
According to him, he's looking out for his people.
Para los suyos. Pero el detalle que ya están los consumidores, ¿no?
So this is a person that supplies fentanyl drugs coming across our border. And they said, if you have a message to Donald Trump, what would it be? My respects. According to him, he's doing it for his people. I wish more people could understand that. It's pretty simplified right here if you really think about it. Sometimes, man, it would almost be like, I don't know, with legacy media and everybody else, they want to make him look like this really bad guy. But in all reality, He's doing it for the American people. He's doing it for me and you. He's doing it for my kids. He's doing it for your kids. He's doing it for your grandkids. We've gone way too far off the deep end in this country. And it's just crazy that a cartel member would say that. Looks like Renee had a birthday not too long ago. Happy birthday, Renee. Earlier, who was it? Saint Fan. Saint Fan was in here, and I missed giving him a... I got a video of RW in a tutu singing happy birthday. I was going to show him, but he's not here. Happy birthday, late birthday, Renee. I hope you had a wonderful day, and thank you for being part of the Oreo Army and part of the family. We appreciate you. Listen to this. This is Tom Homan. He said, watch out. He said, watch what's coming. Pretty much everything Tom Homan has said, he is done. And he's still going further. But listen to this.
Governor Evers, Tony Evers, is not happy about this. And he watched in Wisconsin as this judge helped someone to help them get out of the courthouse because she heard that ICE was in the courthouse, even though she was about to conduct a trial of this individual who was accused of assault, and the people who accused him of it were sitting in the front row. So the Wisconsin governor, Tony Evers, is not happy about this. And he named you in this. Watch this.
Tom Homan was asked about me in this guidance after he apparently threatened to arrest elected officials across the country. He said, wait till you see what's coming. As disgusted as I am about the continued actions of the Trump administration, I'm not afraid. I've never once been discouraged from doing the right thing. And I will not start today.
What's your response to that, Tom?
Well, there's no threat. What I simply said is wait what happens. I've said from day one, you can support sanctuary cities. You cannot support ICE if that's what you choose to do. But if you cross that line on impeding our law enforcement efforts or knowingly harboring and concealing an illegal alien from ICE, those are felonies, and we will seek prosecution. So, hopefully you don't cross that line, but it's not a threat. I've been saying since day one. There are laws on the books against impediment and knowing, harboring, and concealing an alien, and we're going to seek those out that do that. I've arrested U.S. citizens for harboring, concealing aliens in their workplace or their home when I was an agent. Why should be a free-for-all for elected officials? So don't cross that line. I said from day one. We showed the judge. The judge wanted to play that game. We're prosecuting her. So anybody can be prosecuted for violating laws, including him. But it's not a threat. I'm just taking what the law is, what our 10 is going to be.
Oh, I love it. I think we're going to see some crazy things pretty soon where Democrats are even going to lose their mind even more. And there is a cost to illegal immigration, even for those people. A lot of people die, if you remember, in the deserts here in the summer. All these people, we've seen children drowned in the Rio Grande. This came out from ABC7, and this was 3 people are dead and 9 others are unaccounted for after a panga boat washed ashore near San Diego this morning, the San Diego area where we were there last time. Remember when we were in San Diego, we caught that boat that had overturned? It said, according to the U.S. Coast Guard, and here's the picture they put up there. That was the boat. It says 3 dead, 9 missing after panga boat washes ashore near San Diego. It's scary. It's definitely scary. And I got to look into this more. Maybe we'll cover it more tomorrow or maybe even later tonight. It says hackers claim to have breached Global X, the airline helping President Trump's administration with deportation, stealing flight records and passenger lists that reveal who was deported, when, and where. I guess they're anonymous. I don't know. Take a look at this, what they wrote, and we'll do some more confirming and some more research. Maybe if I put the mouse in the right spot, we'll be okay. It says, Anonymous has decided to enforce the judge's orders since you and your psychopath staff ignore lawful orders and go against your fascist plans. You lose again, Donnie. A federal judge ruled on May 1st, 2025, that the Trump administration invocation of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to remove alleged members of the Venezuelan gang from the country is unlawful. The president cannot summarily declare that a foreign nation or government has threatened or perpetrated an invasion or predatory incursion of the United States followed by the identification of the alien enemies subject to detention or removal. So this is, again, a threat. Hopefully our FBI, CIA, and everybody are on this. These people are absolute cucks. I think we have something going on really quick. Let me see something. I thought there was something live here. Hold on. I'm not worried about the Meta Gala red carpet. Show more. Let's see. The households vote on multiple China-related bills. No, so there was nothing. Right on, guys. Well, I want to say thank you for all you guys tuning in. Once again, we appreciate your viewership. We appreciate you hitting that like button. That's the least we can ask of you. If you would like to help us, again, it's the beginning of the month, and we got all the bills to pay, and we are 100% viewer funded. If you want to help us out, it is a blessing to us. You can go over to make a donation at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you use online banking and it has the Zelle way of transfer, you can go get our Zelle link. It's at our website, theoreoexpress.com. And there's a donate now button on there on the bottom. And again, thank you guys so much for your help. Thank you for allowing us to be doing this for as long as we have. And we appreciate you all. Renee, happy late birthday. Thank you for so much for joining us today. And everybody else that has been around. Let me just double check something really quick. I had this on Do Not Disturb.
Detected in the front yard.
That's why I had it on Do Not Disturb. I have my Bluetooth. Let me fix that. Had my Bluetooth hooked up to my phone to play that intro song. So again, if you guys want to, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We can't do it without you. Thank you guys so much, and we will be seeing you very, very soon. I don't know if we're going to do a premium tonight. We'll have to find out. And thank you to all the premium subscribers on Rumble. Again, helping out Rumble helps us out in the long run. We appreciate you. We want to say thank you more than you know. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Tracks fill the rumble below. It's the Oreo Express where the truth's gonna grow. Josh Wolfer's on the mic, carving through the haze, breaking down the walls in these cloudy days. Oreo Express, yeah, we're breaking the chains. Voices of the people, no stopping this train. Freedom's in our sights with the stories we wrote. Step on board, now hear the engines core. From the heart of the streets to the mountain winds, we're here to uncover where the real truth begins. Silence in the static, wiping out the lies. Through the smoke and the chaos, we'll rise in surprise. Oreo Express, yeah, we're breaking the chains. Voices of the people, no stopping this train. Freedom's in our sights with the stories we wrote. Step on board, now hear the engines core.